and he just said he wants to shoot the shit, basically. But pretty much in that first call, we just started talking like regular people. We ended up talking about anime, video games, and health and life in general. He used to do these COD commentary videos as well, so he was a commentary YouTuber, and we had a lot in common, very similar interests, and we actually unironically got along very well. Apparently he has 10,000 hours in League of Legends, which honestly should be a crime. But yeah, it was really weird. He basically just trusted me like a best friend.
Yo guys, if I don't seem in the best mood, it's probably because it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I just woke up. The main part of this video that I want to talk about, there's actually a couple different things that I want to talk about, and if I'm not my usual cheery mood, it actually has to do with this main topic. I want to talk about the lack of accountability that's coming up with these YouTube commentators, especially to the Mr. Beast situation. I just got done watching Oompaville and more Pegasus on the Mr. Beast conversation. I'm extremely upset at how they handled the situation, especially about talking about Mr. Beast and all the controversy revolving around Mr. Beast, especially when it comes to the specific topics that I'm going to be talking about. Mostly it bothers me because I'm a father, and when it comes to kids and anything that has to do with kids, anyone who's watching this who's not a parent, you're just not going to understand, especially after dealing with the birth of your first child. Things around the world, you start looking differently, and I'm disappointed in the situation and all this because I feel like everyone is mishandling the situation with Mr. Beast all differently, and that's clearly not everyone's fault. Everyone has their own specific topics that they want to cover, right? But being a parent and hearing some type of form of accusation, I look at things differently, especially when it comes to what's really important to me, and anything that has to do with kids or any type of news around the kids. If that is not talked about first, I'm kind of confused as to why. So not only was there multiple different controversies with Mr. Beast when it comes to illegal lotteries and faking his videos and stuff like that. Honestly, personally, for me, I could give a fuck. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. YouTube is a place where you can actually make money. It has been for the longest time. When I was around, I'm 28. When I was around, YouTube used to be about posting videos of having fun and stuff like that. People didn't treat it as a business. Now, there's nothing wrong with treating it like a business and, you know, make your money however you want. But as soon as I hear some type of controversy around kids, I immediately go into protective mode as a parent, and I take a step back and I'm trying to figure out different news. And it's one thing to be accused of certain situations, but it's also a different thing to just mishandle the situation and not talk on it. And I think that's where the lack of accountability is like starting to get to me, because if it's bothering me in my sleep to the point where I actually had to make a YouTube video and go on the internet and say my piece, it should show how much of a problem it actually is. And that's also why particularly I'm a little bit upset at how these YouTube commentators are handling situations. And it's just those two YouTubers primarily that I talk about, and no hate against them. You know what I mean? Handle your situation, how you're going to do the interview and talk about the situation, because there's multiple different topics that you want to talk about. 2-hour video, 3-hour video, do whatever you want to do. But at what point are we not going to handle the main topics at hand, where it talks about the controversy revolving around the employee that he had and the people that he associates himself with, especially when it comes to his best friend with the minor and the whole sex change and stuff like that. Like, on one hand, we have someone who completely destroys his family and then wants to transition into a female as a grown man. To me, that's super confusing. You're leaving a family alone. I think it also hits home. It hits harder with me because I'm an orphan from Brazil and I got adopted. So family is a really big issue for me. But you're associated with someone who, one, does that, and then there's also news and controversy that you hire someone who's masked up and is apparently talking to minors and SAing a minor. And I'm kind of confused as to why this isn't being brought up as a main topic at hand. Everyone wants to talk about and beat around the bush talking about it. I'm super confused as to why it's one of the main things that these people who actually have chances to talk to Mr. Beast isn't talking about it. Now, I don't know if it's particularly because he won't answer, because I'll show you a clip 14 minutes into Oompaville's video where he's basically saying that he can and can't talk about specific things and that he would have to talk to his team and stuff like that. From my personal end, the interview would have either stopped right then and there, because if you're not going to be able to answer questions on specific topics at hand, I have nothing else for you. There's no point in talking about it anymore, especially when you can pick and choose on what you can talk about because of the legalities, which again, legalities, you're not supposed to talk about things. I get it. Everything else is minor to me. It doesn't really bother me whatsoever when it comes to faking videos and rigging contests or whatever the fuck. Honestly, you can make a 5-part questionnaire on X and talk about it and be like, here's the facts, here's not the facts. You can come out and talk about it, what you can talk about, and then be over with it. The video doesn't need to be 2 hours to go further in depth with it.
I mean,
we can figure it out.
Just from what I know about like retainer contracts with lawyers and working with, you know, third-party investigations, things like, which I don't have any experience with anything that big, obviously.
Yeah.
But maintaining a level of compliance, like, I mean, if there's like a retainer contract, something showing that, you know, you shouldn't.
Now, this is where I'm ignorant. Like, I don't even know really what a retainer contract is. But
yeah, I mean, like
if there's any way I could, of course.
Like your third party saying, Jimmy, don't talk. Like, just basically giving credence to what you're saying, even more
gotcha.
so. More evidence of what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, that would be something I'd have to like go talk to the team on. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
that would help
if
me.
that's something where people desperately want transparency, I mean,
Yeah.
we can figure something out.
Yeah, I that would just help me. I'm not sure if people, honestly, I don't know if people would give a fuck.
I think also another main issue about it was how in the interview, it seems almost like they were taking a childish approach to the interview, a bunch of smiling and stuff like that when it comes to how they're discussing the interview. And it just didn't seem like they were taking it as seriously as it's supposed to. And especially when you have full video and transparency of getting to look at the interview and read body language. One, I really don't appreciate, now this may be nitpicking. I also don't appreciate if somebody were to come over my house immediately putting their foot on the table. Oompaville, just have some balls. Stop looking at the ground and actually look at Mr. Beast and tell this dude to take his leg off the fucking foot of your table. That's just basic common decency. I don't know why this was even allowed. It shows supreme arrogance, especially also being surrounded by multiple different controversies that you are in, to be so relaxed and not taking it as seriously as possible. Maybe that's how he copes. Maybe that's how he smiles and stuff like that. Maybe that's his defense mechanism. That's completely fine. But it just shows, outside looking in, it just shows arrogance. It's really just disrespectful, honestly. And for God's sake, like, I'm so confused as to why people are taking this so nonchalant and like childish behavior of smiling. One part also that rubbed me the wrong way was the whole hand on the Bible stuff and immediately making it childish and just jokingly talking about different things and stuff like that. I'm extremely disappointed with these YouTube commentators not taking it as seriously as possible. And then on more Pegasus side, I'm confused as how you get to make multiple videos and chase the bag on YouTube with this situation and then eventually have a phone call with Mr. Beast and talk about anime and talk about all these other things when there's multiple different accusations that are serious topics at hand. And you're just, I don't know, it seems like you're vibing with the person if you're trying to make friends with him. Like, what's going on here? I'm so confused because do you just not have kids? Do they not understand how serious this topic and conversation should be? I just think that people aren't honestly taking it as serious as possible. And it's starting to honestly get to me. Maybe I need to stop watching these videos when it comes to it. And I do want to be proven wrong. I want to make sure that nothing actually happened and it isn't as serious as it's making it out to be, because I've been staying up on topic with these things, and whenever they talk about the illegal lotteries and the faking of the CGI videos, I scrub through these videos. I honestly don't care. I'm more curious about who he hires staffing wise, especially when it comes to underage kids. If Mr. Beast is hiring these people who entertain anything with little kids, I immediately need to know facts about these things. First off, why are you talking to kids? Who are you hiring? Are you doing background checks on these people? Tell me the facts about the Delaware guy. Tell me the facts about Chris. I mean, from personal experience also, if you tend to associate with these people, that tends to show you the character of that person. For one, I already had a terrible time trying to trust Mr. Beast when it comes to the situation with him, Logan Paul, and KSI, because my personal viewpoint, I'm 28 years old. If you associate yourself with these people, you tend to be that person. You guys have same personality traits. I don't care if it's about money or stuff like that. Yes, be around people who you want to make money. That's completely fine. It's also how you make the money, especially when you have such a large audience that primarily focuses on kids. And because kids are naive and parents nowadays don't even pay attention to what the kids were watching. So it's really scummy to me in a way where no one is taking this as seriously as they should be. We have a person who has multiple multi-millions, and nothing is really being taken as seriously as it should. You're okay with reviewing his content and making money off of YouTube, but are you just talking to talk? Are you trying to get to the bottom of it? Why take the interview if you're not going to be talking about the main topics at hand? But from what I gather from the previous videos, how he's handling the situation, especially with the self-investigation, how he's handling it with the last video of another video of this other YouTuber basically meat riding him the entire time, getting paid to fly out to actually conduct an interview, talking to the staffing team, and basically shitting on Dogpack and all the accusations that Dogpack came out with. I don't know. I just call bullshit on basically everything else like that. I just want to figure out, hey, what's going on with this Delaware guy? Why was there a situation where he's talking to a minor and you guys hired him, and then there's some scenes where he was masked and why he wasn't masked in the other scenes? What's going on with the Chris situation? What's going on with your employees? What's going on? You own a company, you're a major CEO. Figure something out and give me irrefutable evidence that you had no idea, or evidence that you did know and you're just lying about it. It's as simple as that. Granted, nobody wants to admit to themselves to lying, but I just feel like I had to make this video. It's been bothering me for a while, especially when it comes anything that revolves around kids. It starts to bother shit out of me. I most likely won't ever do like another video like this. It's just something that I had to get off my chest. It's also super early in the morning, and to a point where it was bothering me while I was asleep. I just had to get that out there. And I also think that since we have social media and the platform to make videos and comment and do X and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and everything, if you have an opinion, clearly voice it out. That's why we have these platforms for social media. So that way we're not put back in times where the people who had the most power were the ones that were able to talk and everyone else had to listen. Granted, some opinions and some commentating are idiotic and people really shouldn't be saying shit like that. I may be proven wrong where I shouldn't be talking about this because I needed to weigh out for the facts. But then again, at the end of the day, it's my personal opinion, and I feel like everyone should be able to share their personal opinion. Everyone should be able to voice their opinion, and I don't want anyone that has the same opinion to not be able to make peace and say what they think. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to get off my chest. You guys probably won't see another video like this in a while, or probably ever again. Maybe if I'm proven wrong and he's actually able to talk about things and he doesn't have to beat around the bush when it comes to the legalities of things like that, and people can ask him clear and concise questions and he can give clear and concise answers, that would be perfect. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a lose-lose situation. I think some people at the top, you just really can't bring down. They have too much power and influence, so there's no denying that. And that's with anything in this world. This country, my old country, at the end of the day, the people who have power really don't have any type of repercussions for it. This is the way of the world. I'm not trying to change it. It is what it is. But to not talk about it and to not go into detail about it, and then for these YouTube commentators also to not have the first question being asked, why is this, what's going on with this situation, and to not get a clear and concise answer, I think it's just scummy. I think it's annoying as hell. Honestly, please just do better. I mean, if this gets to the eyes of anyone, just do better. I don't understand why it's that hard. Lastly, I just want to do a closing of talking to the commentators. Just honestly, please have some balls. Stop talking to this guy like he's a bro. He's not a bro. If you want to do an investigation on the person, if you want to consistently talk about an investigation on this person, bring up different commentaries of this person, please just honestly ask the questions and call it a day. He's not your friend. He doesn't want to be your friend. Honestly, he doesn't care about you. And then for the love of God, dude, if you're having somebody over your house and you're conducting an interview and you have them have their leg up on top of the countertop of your table, please ask them politely to knock that shit off and put their fucking foot down and conduct an interview like a person that actually respects you. What kind of disrespectful shit is that? It's so smug. It's so annoying. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.